Lying hip extension, otherwise known as the glute bridge. So for this here, we're going to get Janelle into basically the bent leg position. Her feet are going to be flat on the floor, or toes can be up. Either way, whatever's more comfortable. As far as hand position is concerned, if you have your hands down at the side, I kind of call this like A, and then B, and then C, in terms of like just different levels for the exercise. Obviously, the less surface area, the more challenging it's going to be. So a level 1 version of this exercise, it could be a 1A, B, or C, is going to be with 2 legs, driving the heels into the floor, squeezing the glutes maximum at the top, and then dropping down. Something key to understand when you can do it from any one of those positions, so we can have 1A, B, or C, is understanding that she's not lifting here. She's not lifting her hips up. She's blasting her heels through the floor, basically action-reaction. The hips are going to come up, okay? So if you're feeling this in your lower back, it's most likely because you're putting your mind here, trying to lift at the core, okay, as opposed to driving the heels through the floor to make your glutes work. This is a glute exercise and a hamstring exercise. So that's going to be kind of a level 1, and you got your A, B, or C version. From there, we could go into a single leg, or like a level 2 variation of the exercise. Okay, you can have the leg up, you can have the leg in different positions, whatever's going to be comfortable for you, but it's all about this foot, this butt cheek, go. Okay, so that's going to be a single leg, lying hip extension, or glute bridge, whichever name you prefer. I'm going to show you some push-up variations. We're going to start off first with the setup. When we get down in position, I like to have the thumbs lined up basically with the nipples and the hands spread nice and wide apart. Head is neutral. I'm going to show you the modified version first. Is pull those feet back towards you. Elbows are tucked into the side and pushing up. Okay, we want to make sure we're not arching the back. We're not nose diving. We're just letting the belly button and the chest drop together and come up together. Once we've mastered that, of course, we come up to the toes. The wider the feet are, the easier it's going to be. The narrower the feet are, the harder it's going to be. Elbows in, drive up. Elbows in, drive up. We can go to a 1-foot variation. Elbows in and drive up. Each time I keep saying elbows in, I want the elbows here. We're going to work chest, shoulders, triceps. I don't want you out here putting your shoulder in a very compromised position. We can sometimes do a wide grip, but we're still going to have the elbows in. That's really going to protect your shoulders. Okay, so keep that in mind with each of those variations of the push-up. Keep the trunk solid, like basically a straight, neutral spine. Okay, think core when you're doing your push-ups. Squeeze your butt, push through the belly button, drive through the floor. Squat jumps. Now squat jumps are a little bit different than your standard jump. Typical jump, you don't actually squat all the way down. You just kind of load, explode, leave the ground. Squat jump, think of it as 2 exercises, a squat and a jump. So we're going to get Janelle set up for a typical body weight squat. Then she's going to explode out of the squat into the jump. Squat, jump. Squat, jump. Okay. Now if you want to have the hands up like Janelle does, that's fine. Whatever's comfortable for you. You can also explode with the hands, whatever works for you. But you got to keep in mind, this is a squat plus a jump. So we do a full body weight squat. You can review the squat video into a jump. Now you'll notice that in that variation, Janelle was pausing with each repetition. Okay, she would squat, she'd jump, she'd land, and then squat again. You can also do continuous reps, which will be a little bit more advanced, where you literally land right back into the squat. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to be your squat continuous jump. That's going to be a little bit more explosive, a little bit more cardiovascular, definitely going to be a little bit more of an advanced exercise, so work your way into that. Be sure to watch the squat video if you have difficulty with this. Master the squat first, and then add the jump. The bent over I, T, or Y variations. Okay, this is basically going to be a bent over hip at the hinge, basically hip hinge, and then we're going to be doing some arm raises. Let me just show you what they look like. Essentially, the I is going to be the arms down back. The T is going to be out into a T, and then the Y is going to be up into that Y position. So we have Janelle just do a nice solid hip hinge, get bent over. We get as flat as we can, but we want to keep that lower back in a good hinge, a good arch position hinge. We go Y, we come back. We give it a real solid squeeze, really hitting that upper mid back, triceps, everything else is staying still, and then that's an I. Yep, that's an I position right there. We can do a hold, or we can do repetitions. okay? A T, we're going to come out to the side, okay? And what we want to watch for with that T is we want to make sure she's not coming down too low, like halfway between the I and the T. We want to be out on that T. So I'm actually going to have her come up right about there, forming her T, and then her Y is going to be out in front into that Y position. So facing the camera now. Hit the hinge, we go into our I. Excellent. We go to our T. Very good. Some people like to do thumbs up on this, whatever you like, and then out into that Y position. And Janelle does not have the greatest in the shoulder mobility, so she's got a pretty wide Y. Obviously, want to try and get in a little bit more, but that's not for her. So see where you fit on that. She's got to work on that Y position. Some people got really good shoulder mobility. They can actually get up into like a top I, where they're way up in that position. So those are your I, T, and Y variations. Front pillar variations, okay? Let's work that core. We're gonna get Janelle down in position. The elbows are gonna be right underneath the shoulders. And we're gonna show a couple different versions. So this is gonna be a modified version. She's cutting her body weight down quite considerably by being on her knees. What we're looking for is we want a neutral alignment from the tailbone to the shoulders and bring the head back. And there, nice straight line all the way through. Okay, maintaining a controlled breathing, tightening the core, keeping the glutes tight. It's all about keeping that belly rock solid. She can go to her feet to make it more challenging. Okay, and then she can also lift one leg in the air to make it even more so. And there you have it. Some different variations for your front pillar. Pretty straightforward exercise. Knees, toes, 1 foot. The key with this one is really focusing on squeezing the core. Okay, keeping a good neutral spine and not letting that head drop or arch up. Keep everything nice and neutral, nice and solid. Okay. Other things you can do to kind of enhance this is squeeze your feet together. When you squeeze your feet together, you actually get a little more glute activation, and you focus a little more in the kind of like bearing down and tightening in that core. Those are front pillar variations. Running in place or resisted running in place. So running in place is pretty self-explanatory, just run in place, okay? But we can actually add a band, we can add some more resistance, it's a little bit more fun, a little more challenge to the core actually. So we're gonna add a horizontal vector. What I mean by that is we're gonna take a band and we're gonna tie it up to whatever you have at home available, or if you have your band utility strap, you hook your band utility strap up to your door, and now you have an attachment just like this, and you can get inside, and now we have a horizontal vector. This is pulling us that way as we're trying to run in place. It's really gonna challenge the core, and it just makes the running in place exercise a little bit more fun. So we're going to set that up just underneath the chest, kind of like an underwire. We're going to walk out until we get some resistance. We're not looking for a tremendous amount of resistance, but just so we can feel it. And then we're just going to have Janelle simply run in place against that resistance. Go. Okay. Chop, 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 chop. Nice, good, tall posture. Getting the knees up, getting the knees up. Look at her go, look at her go, look at her go, and break. Okay? So what you'd want to be careful of is you don't want to be leaning forward into the band. You notice that Janelle held a really good posture. She was up tall. The chin, everything was neutral, and she's really getting after it. And you can see it's going to dramatically impact the sprint because A, you have resistance pulling on you, so it's going to make the sprint harder, and it's going to hit that core at the same time. Really cool way to add some, upper body sprinting, total body sprinting into your routine. That is the resistance band resisted version of a sprint.